Good evening. This is Rudy Giuliani, and this is the Rudy Giuliani Show on Lindell TV and on X and several other places. Rumble, I believe. Today is today's April Fool's Day, which is why it's not Liberation Day. It was going to be Liberation Day until the president decided that if I'm going to do all of these major rearrangements with tariffs and everything else, I better not do it on April Fool's Day because nobody may believe I'm doing it. I think that shows his sense of humor rather than anything really serious. But in any event, tomorrow is Liberation Day. So, of course, today is a great day of anticipation about what's going to happen with the tariffs. I suspect what's going to happen is what we've been talking about for a year now, or he's been talking about for 20 years now. Mostly the aim is going to be toward eventually reciprocal tariffs, which would mean if you don't want a tariff, we don't want a tariff. If you want a tariff, we're going to have to put a tariff on. And if you want to do something like a few of these countries do and put 100% tariff on us, well, we're not going to sit back and have you take away our steel industry, our automotive industry, our coal industry, or just about every other industry, so that generations go without jobs in some parts of America as Democrats and Republican free traders. Now, they have taken that word free trade and they've done to it what Marxists and what Democrats have done to our language, which is change the meaning of it to just the opposite. When they have 100% tariff and we have none, that's not free trade. That's unfair trade. So free trade is premised on a fairly balanced, equal playing field, so that everybody's playing by the same rules. The minute somebody isn't, they shouldn't be really part of the league. They shouldn't be part of the free trade group. They should be on the outside. So I don't even understand the logic and the arguments of the insane, hysterical tariff people. I don't. I do understand the history of the Smooth-Hawley tariff probably as well, or better than they do. I also understand that tariffs at times have been enormously helpful to economies. It isn't the tariff, it's how you use it. It's the context in which you use it. And it isn't free trade, so long as you understand that free trade has to be balanced by a group of rules. It has to be in a market, even if it is a fairly loose and flexible market. It's the reason we have insider trading laws, because the market, the stock market, is not just free trade, it's fair trade. So somebody who is the president of a company and on the board of the company and finds out that they're going to have a big purchase coming along that nobody knows about isn't allowed to go out and buy lots of that stock in advance, knowing that when you don't, and then make millions and millions, kind of the thing that made Nancy Pelosi and her husband a multimillionaires, insider trading. Same thing is true with free trade. Everybody should be operating on the same level of tariffs or be perfectly agreeable to whatever level of tariffs there are. But basically, it should mean no tariffs or equal ones. So President Trump is going to straighten that out tomorrow. He is going to impose, as we know, a 25% tax on everything automotive. And that to me seems like an excellent idea, because we have given away not just the automotive industry, but a lot of the industries that surround the automotive industry that do the work to build the engines and to build the brakes and to build everything else, the paint. It's a massive. It's not just a massive industry that we've given away; it's skills that we've given away. Just to get off topic for 1 second, but it's related. China has more ships than we do, military vessels than we do. Now, we used to be the dominant navy in the world. I believe on faith that we are. I say on faith, not on numbers, because I do believe our sophistication of our naval fleet and its abilities to fight a war are way superior to China. So I guess we could have a numerical disadvantage and still be a better Navy than they are. And I do believe we are. But, it's getting to the point where that'll become ridiculous if they continue on the path they're going. I mean, they can build, I don't know, if I say 100 ships a year, I may be off, but 50 a year, we can build almost none. We don't build ships much anymore. I was told by somebody who has been fighting for years to try to get us to build more ships that we can't build ships because we don't have welders anymore. That skill has been taken away because of the fact that we have allowed to go offshore the building of ships. So therefore, all the people, surrounding the building of ships, those who work on the shipbuilding and those who supply all of the things that go into a ship, we don't have them either. So if we wanted to do Rosie the Riveter World War II buildup, we couldn't do it immediately. We don't have the skills because we gave it away with presidents who had no common sense. We should have always had a backup plan in the president's head, if the president had a head, that said, this is the basic that America needs to be dependent. It's kind of like something considerably bigger, I hope, than your little emergency kit if, you should be shut out for 4 weeks. We should have the ability to operate for extended periods of time, long periods of time, if we get the cooperation of nobody, just us. We have some friends that I would say, like Israel, that we will always have the cooperation of. Now, you want me to go beyond that and bet the nation on it? I'd say Japan. If we save them, Taiwan. Yeah, both powerful, by the way. Powerful allies. Japan could be even more powerful if we let it really rearm. It also would scare the living daylights out of China if we did, because the Chinese fear no one more than they do the Japanese. So basically, what's going to happen tomorrow is the auto tariff is probably going to be the one that gets the most attention. Now, will automobiles go up in price or not? The president has told them not to, but that's only an exhortation, a wish list, a bully pulpit. No, there's no law to that effect, nor should there be. But hopefully it will rein them in a bit to take a little heat in order to gain greatly at the end. The problem with this whole strategy, if there is a problem, is I'll blame it on both the low attention span of most Americans nowadays, the prevailing philosophy of free trade, which is a combination not just of Adam Smith, but it's a bastardization of Adam Smith and Keynesian economics, and then of course the fact that we find it almost impossible nowadays to understand short-term pain for long-term gain. Right? That's why we're a credit. We have people in so much debt and so much credit and everything else. By that, I mean, during the pandemic, we found out that China makes a disproportionately large number of our medicines. I had heard 90%, 95%. I don't think it's that high, but it's high. And alarmingly high if we get into a crisis. It was alarmingly high during the pandemic because those bastards figured out in advance that there was going to be a pandemic because they caused it. Oh, yeah, they caused it. You weren't allowed to say that, right? That was xenophobic. To say it was China virus was xenophobic. No, it wasn't. You know what it was? It was the product of the Chinese infiltration, which has been so brilliant in our politics, the Democratic Party, in our media, most of the major media networks, in Hollywood, in our industries and in our businesses who wanted the China market even more than the American market. So the minute you said anything bad about China, you got yelled on and yelled down and screamed down and canceled and who knows what else. And if you were Chinese, maybe you got shot. You look at movies out of Hollywood for the last 20 years, you find me one that's critical of China. Why? Why is there no one like that? Because China owns a good deal of Hollywood, a critical mass of Hollywood, for that matter. Liberation Day is going to be a day in which we set out to rebuild the great America, the big giant America, the giant of the world, the America that could, in fact, react to a World War II, having stupidly disarmed under stupid Democrats that had to be rearmed by equally stupid Democrats. And luckily, they had an intelligent nation. The reality is that we had the capacity then, and we had the skills then, and we had serious unemployment, so people would do anything and learn anything. And we hadn't given away any of our industry at that point. We were still building. We were a nascent industry at that point. Well, today we've given it all away, and we've got to take it back. And every day counts, and Trump is doing that. And these tariffs will do that. Already, I think if you did a scoreboard, we're winning a lot more with tariffs than we're losing. The reality is, if you look at the investments into the United States, they're almost at record levels. And if you need the answer on tariffs, is Trump right or is the Wall Street Journal right? Ask the CEO of Hyundai. They asked him directly, why did you move the 4 factories to America? He said, what do you think, I'm stupid? Because of the tariffs. I'm not a stupid editorial writer. I run a company. And the reality is that is going to happen. Will it cause some effect on certain prices, some places? Yes. Will some cars go up in price? Yes. Are there things that could be regularized, as there is always when you put something into effect? I thought the Wall Street Journal article today, and there were in several other places as well, but I do criticize the Journal a lot because I think it's extremely myopic on the area of tariffs. But I do think the article today about the United States can't save Mercedes from tariffs is both true and untrue. The reality is, as presently constituted, Mercedes, which now builds a certain number of their vehicles in the United States, particularly, I guess the first one was in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, where they do, and they do provide jobs, and they do provide income, and they contribute to the American economy. But they are going to be subjected to a tariff on the cars they build there because they use parts that come from Europe. Now, the tariff, remember, is on automobiles manufactured overseas and automobile parts from overseas. So roughly 2/3 of the 324,500 vehicles Mercedes ships to dealers in the U.S. were imported, and 1/3 were built here. But even those that are assembled in Tuscaloosa, like the GLE and the GLS SUVs, used engines and transmissions built in Europe, largely. So they're going to be treated as if they were foreign manufactured vehicles. So you can already see that there should be some allocation of that. There should be some recognition for Mercedes, which went big time into the United States. That's not its only factory. Or BMW, the same thing. There should be some allocation that's made that takes account of the fact that a large portion of the vehicle is made here, and therefore contributing to our economy. We're talking about fair. Well, we want fair. Well, we have with us from the White House our correspondent, Allison Steinberg, and I'm sure the White House today was quite a bit of talk. Hello, Allison. How are you?
Hello, Mr. Mayor. I'm great. Thank you. And it's great to be with you. Thanks for having me.
Allison, you look like you're very cold.
It's a little chilly here. It's crazy. It was actually hot yesterday, and then today it's freezing. So I had to put my scarf on.
Well, how are they? What are they saying on the eve of Liberation Day, when the tariffs are all going to go into effect? Is America going to end tomorrow?
Well, the Democrats certainly think that's going to be the case. They're just in all-out hysteria and panic over here, very concerned about what's going to happen, which is amazing because the Trump and his administration have rightfully dubbed this Liberation Day to bring the power back to America. I mean, for so long we've gotten used to, you know, everything going out to these foreign countries that really does nothing to benefit our own country, and everyone's just gotten used to, you know, cheap goods being manufactured elsewhere and willingly giving their money away to other countries when it could all be brought back to America. And that's exactly what the president is working to achieve. He says it's part of his agenda to make America wealthy again, bring the wealth back to our own country. So it's really incredible that anyone would have a problem with this. How could any American be opposed to this?
Well, I mean, it's amazing the way in which they've built up this almost hysteria. If you read the Wall Street Journal every day, you would think America, as I said, America's going to end tomorrow when the first tariff goes into effect, not taking into account that they put 100% tariffs on us, which, you know, we have to take into account. And what else is going on? What are the big things dominating the White House? The president seems pretty confident on the economic issues. What about making a decision on Russia and Ukraine and Iran? They're coming up pretty soon.
They are coming up pretty soon, so we will stay tuned to see what happens there. No major announcements from the White House on that front today. There was a briefing today at the White House that focused primarily on the illegal aliens and what the DOJ is doing to get them out of our country. They are actively working and have arrested numerous gang members from primarily Tren de Aragua, who are now arrested and being deported from the country. So that's excellent news. Always glad to hear that illegal border crossings are down substantially from just this time last year. So that is great news. Also, other interesting news, the Social Security fraud is a big topic here. Elon Musk has been doing a great job to expose that. Just so much waste, fraud, and abuse being uncovered by Elon and the DOGE team. In fact, Caroline Levitt highlighted some more of the waste and corruption that happened under the Biden administration today. I thought this clip was really interesting. I have that if you want to roll it, and then we can come.
Yeah, I do want to watch that because I'm going to talk a bit about the resistance movement and how insane it is and the violence against him, which I think is outrageous. But go ahead. Let's see this.
Mr. Musk cited. I can tell you what the Social Security Administration has said themselves, according to an Inspector General's report that was conducted last year, showing there was nearly $80 billion worth of fraud in this program. We know for a fact there are individuals who should not be receiving benefits on the Social Security rolls, and this administration is focused on cleaning out the waste, fraud, and abuse in every agency, but particularly in Social Security, to make it stronger for our tax-paying, law-abiding citizens who deserve these entitlements and programs. Because you did bring up DOGE, I do want to tout the incredible efforts that have been made at the Environmental Protection Agency. And Administrator Lee Zeldin is just doing a tremendous job. Just yesterday and today it will be going into effect. He announced that taxpayers will be saved $8 million in annual lease costs by moving staff out of the 323,000 square feet of space that the EPA currently occupies, which is completely unnecessary. Yesterday, Administrator Zeldin also announced he will be shutting down a museum that the Biden administration built to tell a selective story about the EPA's history and climate change. It was a real pat on the back to President Biden. And guess how much American taxpayers paid for it? $4 million for this museum that I think only 1,000 visitors saw last year alone. And it will cost American taxpayers $600,000 per year to operate this museum. Well, it's not going to exist anymore. We're going to save taxpayers those critical funds. And Administrator Zeldin is very proud to announce that. And just at EPA alone, and the cuts that they have made, they've saved taxpayers more than $22 billion in wasteful grants and spending.
That is very, very impressive. It really is. I mean, and the reality is it's almost like they've been chinging it up every day, $4 billion a day. I think Elon said the other day when he was being interviewed that they're averaging about $4 billion a day. And if he keeps going, to his sort of goal, he'll take out about $1 trillion, which will cut our deficit in half. So why Americans, why they're not only trying to kill this man, but trying to kill people who are innocent people who use their cars. And this is really gives you a sad commentary on where we are. And I'm sure the administration is going to crack down on it with a task force.
Well, they sure are. They already are. In fact, Pam Bondi actually came out, I believe it was yesterday, and announced that they have arrested one of the instigators of these violent Tesla attacks, which we've seen throughout the country over the past several weeks in response to Elon Musk and the DOGE efforts, which again is another issue of like, how can you be mad about this? They are saving you, the taxpayer, money. What is your problem? But again, I guess there is no, sanity or logic within the minds of these radical leftists that have just gone completely mad over very rational policies that are finally being implemented after it being, so just insane for the past 4 years. But yeah, I'm glad to see this is finally being done. All of these people, I would say, are domestic terrorists. They were so quick to call anyone who was present at the Capitol on January 6th a domestic terrorist. These are the real domestic terrorists. They're,
Yeah.
inside our country, lighting fires, causing violence, harming innocent people. Let's get them all arrested and thrown in prison where they belong, right?
Well, on that note, I have to tell you that was a great report. You're doing a great job at a difficult time. It's a difficult White House to cover, Allison. I worked in the White House when Ronald Reagan was there, and I thought that was like change. Tremendous. This is like 10 times more activity. Unbelievable. Very good job. Thank you. And go warm up now.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you. Well, we're going to take a short break. That was an excellent report by Allison. I think she summarized everything very, very well. And we'll be back very shortly.
You're still looking good.
I'm still feeling good. I've got all your MyPillow products. Mattress topper, bed sheets, MyPillows, towels, slippers, blankets.
I'm interrupting this commercial to do something I've never done before. Get 2 MyPillows absolutely free on orders of $100 or more. I can't do this forever, so get on board with this great sale today. Our best-selling 6-piece bath towel sets or kitchen towel sets, just $29.98. Our famous standard MyPillows only $14.98. Queens $18.98. King size only $1 more. Body pillows $29.98. Multi-use MyPillow 2.0s with pillowcase $9.98. Save $40 on our Spring Percale and Giza Dream bedsheet sets. Any size, any color. So go to MyPillow.com or call that number on your screen. Use your promo code to save up to 80% on all MyPillow products. And when you spend $100 or more, get 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free.
You all know I stand by the truth. And if I put my name on something, I truly believe in it. Today, I'm thrilled to introduce you to something I'm incredibly proud of. My own brand of organic specialty coffee, Rudy Coffee. Believe me when I say it's the best coffee you'll ever try. It's smooth, rich, chocolatey, and gentle on your stomach. It's so good, I even recommend drinking it black. It comes in 3 varieties, including what I promise is the best decaf you'll ever have. You can order now by scanning the QR code on your screen or by visiting rudy.coffee. By supporting Rudy Coffee, you're not just treating yourself to exceptional coffee, you're also supporting our cause, the cause of truth, justice, and American democracy. You'll also be supporting the Call to Action nonprofit, which is devoted to helping veterans and first responders, so you can make a difference and taste the difference by ordering today at rudy.coffee. And we can go into the next one. This is Rudy Giuliani back with you with the Rudy Giuliani Show, and we just heard Allison from the White House talk about the whole situation with Elon Musk and the DOGE team, and of course they are doing an absolutely tremendous job. I've never seen anything quite like this at this level of uncovering what we. If you worked in the federal government at any level and any middle level or higher, you knew immediately that there was a tremendous amount of waste, fraud, and abuse. If you had the honor, as I did, of being an investigator and prosecutor for the United States of America, and that was during a time in which the Model Cities administration and the whole Johnson Great Society was rolling out. You had to be a fool not to see that most of that money was stolen. I mean that. Most of it was stolen. If you would like proof of that, I will take you to any large Democrat city with an inner city, and you will see the condition it's in. And then we'll take a look at how much money they've gotten since Lyndon Johnson. And you will see, as a practical human being, using what Donald Trump is arguing for, common sense, the money had to be stolen because it wasn't spent on the people. If the money designated for Harlem went to Harlem rather than into the hands of the people like Charlie Rangel and his pals, Harlem would be Monaco. The people wouldn't have their problems. This is a serious, ingrained, unbelievably substantial problem. And in old Democrat cities, it goes back to the last century, including the one that used to be mine, New York, and it still is in my heart. I bleed for it. I mean, I did. When I was mayor, I bled for it. And you don't think I bleed for it now? You know how it feels to have done all that work and to see what they've done with it? Someday, if I'm allowed to be truly emotional, I'll tell you. Well, this whole thing against Musk is a complete outrage. Every American should be outraged by this for several reasons. First of all, Elon Musk, whether you like him or you don't like him, and before this, all the lefties loved him because he was doing electrical vehicles, which they thought was going to save the world. To do what he's doing is a great service to you and me. And to bring in the level of talent to the government and the critical ability that the government generally would not have. Let's face it, multi-billion-dollar industries generally will operate with a greater level of talent than the government does because of the amount of money they can pay and the combination of creativity and the ability to make wealth. Nothing inspires the ability to be creative, other than maybe great patriotism and great love, and that's only a few people like that, and the ability to make great wealth. Isn't that where our great inventions came from, by and large? And isn't that why America leads the world in history in doing that? Certainly in modern history. And isn't that why China has to copy and we create? Well, these are the people that now are applying those massive skills to the government. And you saw it if you watched the Brett Baer interview, either live or on tape or video or whatever, or any part of it, which was excerpted many places, including here. You saw the level of talent that they have and goodwill. These are good people. They were affectionately named musketeers, musketeers. I mean, you put those people together. Let's even take Musk out. Well, you put Musk in, and they got more money than the government. Put them all together, right? So they now have developed through a completely anti-American congressperson. They're now having seminars resistance. Pramila Jayapal, who I was going to put on, but I didn't want to scare you. Pramila Jayapal has designed a resistance lab to train people in the principles of nonviolent resistance. Now, who's kidding who? There's nothing nonviolent about this at all. Now, I've read all the articles about what happened this weekend. This weekend they had a weekend of protest against Musk, a weekend of Tesla violence. There were hundreds of Tesla takedown demonstrations. Okay. There was a substantial amount of fighting with the police. There was destruction of property. There weren't large crowds even, 100, 500 at most. They wanted 500 protests. They got, I think, less than 100. They began around 11 o'clock, and they began at the Georgetown takedown dance party. They got 100 people. I'm sure they look like mostly professional protesters. Now, none of this is stopping DOGE. DOGE, it just goes on and on and on, one recommendation after another. Just the other day, they proposed a 20% cut in IRS. But to say, as this left-wing jackass reporter named in The Nation, or The Nation is, like The Atlantic, says, these are mostly nonviolent and they're trained to be nonviolent. Well, sweetheart, I got to tell you, even your own CNN, which, lies for you all over the place, made a little mistake here. They slipped right into their article. An indication of what the truth is. Now, they didn't do this during George Floyd. Remember George Floyd? We had all the peaceful protests with the CNN reporters, with the fires and with the buildings burning in the background, with people being beaten up and the ambulances coming in and out. And the lying reporters were saying it's peaceful. I think that probably turned people off on CNN more than anything else. You don't have to listen to me that they're a bunch of liars. You can watch them lie on national television. But in their article about the weekend, the CNN article about the weekend, written by, I'm going to tell you who, Eli Elazar, Eugenia Bacon, and Connor Green, they slipped the following in. And if you look at my board here, Steve, I kind of wrote it out because I want to show you that when you read the lies, why is it so hard to see?
I think it's just a lot of text.
Oh, well, we can, I can read it to them. I can easily read it to them. On Thursday, authorities announced that a man suspected of setting fire to several Tesla authorities at a repair facility in Las Vegas last week has been arrested. This is on the point of whether these were peaceful. These are peaceful protests. Okay. Paul Kim, 36, allegedly sprayed the word resist in pink across the front doors of a Tesla facility before shooting at multiple vehicles and using Molotov cocktails to set them on fire. That's violent. But you say, oh, that's one. Let me go on to the next paragraph. Although acts of violence have been unfolding for months against Tesla vehicles and facilities, including charging stations and individually owned vehicles, Tesla takedown organizers have stressed that the demonstrators are intended to remain strictly nonviolent. Well, haven't they failed? The first part of the sentence tells you the answer to the second part of the sentence, but they're too stupid to realize they contradicted themselves. Although acts of violence have been unfolding for months against Tesla vehicles and facilities, including charging stations and individually owned vehicles, Tesla takedown organizers have stressed that the demonstrations are intended to remain strictly nonviolent. Well, they may be intended to remain strictly nonviolent, but they don't. So go shove your lying up your. We've had enough of this. We went through this in 2020. We went through it last summer with the colleges. And now you've gone even a step further. You're killing people. I mean, this is not a political movement any longer. This is straight out and out terrorism. This is real terrorism, not like going to a Latin mass. Attorney General Gupadouble, what was his name? That crooked Attorney General we used to have, who picture better never show up in the Justice Department because the walls will fall down. Garfunkel? Garland, yeah, Garland. Attorney General. If he's going to be on the Supreme Court, oh my God. Oh my God, we'd have another Democrat scandal. The last scandal in the Supreme Court was a Democrat who had to go out because he was a crook. That one was involved with Lyndon Johnson. But I mean, what you get to see, this, they try to show you something like that, right? They try to show you something like that. Can we show that? They try to show you something like that. You know, like they're, that looks like the kind of thing they do for school kids, you know, when they come in and try to, I don't know what they do to school kids. But now they try to show you that. But this is their intention. Hunk, if you hate Elon, not if you disagree with him, but if you hate him, he's a fascist. Elon wants to destroy democracy. You tell me how he wants to destroy democracy. Shall we show them what actually happens? I think cut 5 might illustrate it best. Which Tesla's on. There you go. That's it. That's the nonviolent Jayapal Prima Buba Bara. That's what she's been training them for. Those are her seminars, are in order to have, nonviolent. This is like, I actually think, Ted, that the left wing, like Jayapal, and they don't think fire is violence.
Right.
This was every single Black Lives Matter riot.
Mostly,
it doesn't end without fire.
Right.
Basically, last year with the college campuses, more than half of them ended with fire, and particularly at Columbia,
right,
the number one Jewish hating school in the world. Well, this has got to stop. You got to crack down on this immediately. And not because it's Elon Musk, but of course, if it's Elon Musk. The fact that Elon Musk is the richest man in the world doesn't mean you can go try to kill him or be jealous about him and hate him. And you tell me, if you've got half a brain, what the hell is wrong with what he's doing? He's using the skills that made him a multi-zillionaire and applying them to a government that is completely wasteful and totally corrupt, and has become much worse than it's ever been since we've had, since Clinton, really. I mean, corruption, we just turned our back completely on corruption since Clinton, and Clinton would even be shocked at what they're doing now. But Obama, yeah, the prince, like hell. So 17 more illegal aliens have now been sent to El Salvador, and nobody can stop it because this was done under the president's immigration power, not under the Alien Enemy Act of 1798, which a judge has blocked completely unconstitutionally, completely illegally. Now he would like us to bring back the 276 or so, the 261 that went to El Salvador before. of which 130 or so were Trinidad. Oh, and they found a mistake. A man from Maryland, who they describe as a father from Maryland, was sent along, and he wasn't arrested or convicted of anything. Oh, they made one mistake. But it turns out that it wasn't a mistake at all. The man is a major operative in MS-13. There is a major intelligence on him from all of our intelligence agencies that he is a violent member of MS-13 who has been engaged in a number of crimes, including suspected of murder. And remember, this is to protect the security of the United States. You depend on intelligence for that. You don't need convictions. You don't need arrests. We use intelligence to ferret out spies, to ferret out terrorists, and to ferret out people who can do damage to the United States. Plus, he's not a man from Maryland. He's an illegal from El Salvador. All of that is wrong. All of that is left-wing lies. And all of that is the reason why when left-wing communists and Marxists like this are in charge of the government, like they were under Biden, many more people died. And hundreds of thousands of people came across the border. So even in their attempt to find the one mistake, which could possibly happen, you can't not deport them because you might make one mistake. The larger good here is to stop Americans from getting beaten up, raped, killed, plundered, robbed, having their children at risk in going to school, having their schools overloaded with illegals, and deteriorating so fast that we're going below even the average now in terms of education. Well, here's what I prefer. What I prefer is the fact that we're at the point now where we have had the lowest month, again, ever, I think, in our history. I think it may be the lowest month in our history. February, we had gone down to 8,347. And now we're down to 7,000. So if I can take you through even the last couple of months of the Obama administration, if I go back to last year at this time, that number was 130,000. We've gone down from 130,000 to 7,000 in 1 year. But even in September, when Obama was doing everything he could to keep people out, it was at 53,000. October was 56. November was 46. December was 47. January, Trump came in, on the 20th, and went down to 29,000. His first full month, it went down to 8,347. And last month, it was 7,000. So, Judge, you want to take over? Huh? Or maybe you should leave it in the hands of the president. We're supposed to be constitutionally. And will you stop having the judges act like kings? We weren't supposed to have kings in America. President got elected. You got appointed because you're a politician. You got appointed as a federal judge because some Democratic senator or Republican senator selected you. You do know that, right? They're not selected because they're from heaven. They get selected because of politics. And you can tell that they operate like Democrat ward leaders, because all of the injunctions, the most against any president ever, have just about come from Democrats. And complete misreading of the law. Well, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. You all know I stand by the truth. And if I put my name on something, I truly believe in it. Today, I'm thrilled to introduce you to something I'm incredibly proud of. My own brand of organic specialty coffee, Rudy Coffee. Believe me when I say it's the best coffee you'll ever try. It's smooth, rich, chocolatey, and gentle on your stomach. It's so good, I even recommend drinking it black. It comes in 3 varieties, including what I promise is the best decaf you'll ever have. You can order now by scanning the QR code on your screen or by visiting rudy.coffee. By supporting Rudy Coffee, you're not just treating yourself to exceptional coffee, you're also supporting our cause, the cause of truth, justice, and American democracy. You'll also be supporting the Call to Action nonprofit, which is devoted to helping veterans and first responders, so you can make a difference and taste the difference by ordering today at rudy.coffee. Tired of volatile stocks and tiny dividend yields? Here's something different. Imagine collecting steady monthly income from America's richest oil fields without owning a single oil stock. While everyone else stresses about the market, you could be earning passive royalty income month after month. This unique investment has nothing to do with drilling, exploration, or operations. You simply collect your share of the profits when oil companies pump oil. The Oxford Club's Mark Lichtenfeld has found what he calls the perfect income investment, a unique oil royalty opportunity that's still flying under Wall Street's radar. And you can get started with just $25. Head to rudyoilboom.com now to discover more. That's rudyoilboom.com. Stop worrying about the market and start collecting oil royalty checks instead. This is Rudy Giuliani back with the Rudy Giuliani Show. And we are,
Mayor,
well, I think we're going to have to interrupt because I think we have
some breaking
story. And it's really amazing how quickly they reacted to this.
That's right.
I think I know the story, but I don't know. Is Stephen out there?
That's right, Mayor. We have Stephen live here in Palm Beach, Florida. He is down at the docks.
Unfortunately, I do not have audio from inside of the studio, but I have to actually just report that President Obama has actually arrived earlier today and has had multiple events on the schedule here in Palm Beach, meeting with donors. And so there is speculation, especially among the moneyed elite, that he will be exploring the possibility of running for a 3rd term for president. Beyond that, security is actually quite different because President Trump often rarely, if ever, travels by yacht. And so it is a bit of a logistical challenge. You actually can't see his yacht because it is required to be parked so far back. And I think it's actually causing a little bit of a navigational issue for some of the locals, as you know, presidential security tends to do.
There's no one.
But yes, a lot more Secret Service boats around than we are used to. I mean, obviously, in Palm Beach, we're used to a lot of Secret Service attention. But this is something else. This is a different president, right?
Well,
goes to show, this place, Republican or Democrat, there's a lot of money down here. A lot of it goes into politics.
Thank you. That was a very, very interesting report.
Well,
this has been rumored all day here in Palm Beach. I guess it's because President Trump isn't here, that Obama was here raising money to run for a 3rd term. And the suggestion is that, the exception that President Trump talked about kind of wistfully, I thought he did it really to remove any of the lame duck thing that might happen. But in any event, the president of the United States can't run for 3 times. So Trump can't run again when this is over, and Biden can't run again for president. But there are constitutional scholars, and more than a few of them, that believe that does not prohibit him from running for vice president. So it was rumored yesterday that Trump might be thinking about running for vice president with Vance running for president. And then when they win, Vance resigns and appoints, and then Trump becomes the president. And then he appoints Vance to vice president. Well, the rumor today in Palm Beach, by the presence of all of these, usually you would think, Republican supporters, but Democrats who still idolize and think that that Obama actually was the president of the United States. Well, he was, but not in the interest of the United States. They are organizing, a Mrs. Obama for president, but him as the vice president, and then they'll switch. Now, the issue that has come up that is very, very serious, raised not by us Republicans, but by some of my friends here in Palm Beach, the Democrats, is, well, Trump trusts Vance to step down. Apparently, the Obamas, they figure she'll just say, screw you, stay vice president, Prince. I'm bigger than you are anyway, so we go one-on-one. I could take you on. So that's very interesting. It might be the Obama tag team against the Vance Trump tag team. April Fools.
I was gonna see if we wanted to keep it going into the next show, but
no, we
probably
gotta
best we tell. Yeah, people are panicking.
We'll get
all sorts of calls.
We'll have an Orson Welles.
Who knows who's
we'll have
calling?
An Orson Welles moment if we're not careful.
That's right.
No, Obama was not here in Palm Beach. He was not on a boat. We made that whole thing up. The Trump part is partially true, but I do think it's an April Fool's joke also. But in any event,
I think we got a few people, and I wonder if they were sweating. I wonder how they would poll. I wonder how Obama would poll.
It is not necessarily for sure that you can do that. It's a constitutional interpretation because the Constitution says that the person running for vice president has to be eligible for being president. Now, the language of the amendment says the president, you can't run a third time. You want to be a lawyer? You want to argue? It doesn't say you're not eligible. It doesn't say you're not eligible. And it doesn't say you can't be appointed. It says you can't be elected a third time. So there are, including law review articles, arguing that this is completely legal. Now, there were law review articles, many of them arguing that everything President Eastman said was legal and that we followed. And of course, we're indicted for that. Even though there were law review articles, maybe the majority of them in favor of Professor Eastman's view of the Constitution. But of course, we're Republicans and we are supposed to be indicted whenever Democrats want to do that and slap us around. But we're not allowed to indict them even when they take $30 million from China, like the prior president. Well, I hope you enjoyed our April Fool's joke. I hope you didn't turn off before we got a chance to tell you it's not true and started raising money either for or against Prince Obama. But if you're raising money for him, they'll probably find a way to take it because he's pretty good at taking money. So, President of the United States has got his Liberation Day coming up tomorrow, but he's got his decision day every day now on Iran and on what happens with Ukraine and Russia. And we will begin our show on X in a minute or two, 8 o'clock, America's Mayor Live. And we'll begin with that analysis of that. And then we'll catch you up on some of this. And I guess we won't be able to do an April Fool's. We've been outed.
Yeah, that was good, Mayor.
God bless America. That worked.